You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, IDW's Star Trek Year 5 comic series is coming to an end starting in May. San Diego Comic-Con is going virtual again for 2021, and I've got this week in Star Trek history. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is supported by people like you through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. First up, it is the end of an era. Star Trek Year 5, the ongoing comic series from IDW Publishing, is gearing up for the final adventure of the Enterprise crew, having reached the end of their 5-year mission. A recent report from the Trek Collective brought us news of the special 3-part finale, with the first issue expected for release on May 5th. Ithaca is the title of the final story in the Year 5 series. While details on the plot are slim, the Trek Collective shared a brief teaser for Part 1, which reads, "For 5 years, the USS Enterprise and her crew have journeyed to the edge of the known universe, tackling impossible challenges and menacing foes along the way. But the biggest challenge of all awaits them here at home, and no matter what happens, the lives of Captain Kirk and his crew will be changed forever." Breaking with tradition, IDW will be releasing 2 issues of Year 5 in May, with issue number 23 being released May 26th. Continuing the story, the blurb for Part 2 reads, "A Tholian horde bearing down on Earth, a time-traveling madman out for blood, a rot festering within the highest levels of the Federation that's about to explode, and that's just where we begin." Star Trek Year 5 Ithaca is written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, with artwork from Stephen Thompson. There are 2 covers available for each of the first 2 issues, designed by Stephen Thompson and J.J. Lendl, respectively. Since the Star Trek Year 5 finale is coming to readers as a 3-volume serial with issues 22 and 23 being released in May, fans can expect to see Part 3, this series' finale, on store shelves in June. For more information, seek out your local comic book retailer. Now, speaking of comics, San Diego Comic-Con will once again be going virtual. Comic-Con International announced the news on Monday, less than 2 weeks after announcing that their other convention, this month's WonderCon, would also be virtual again. In a statement, Comic-Con International said, "It is the policy of the organization to continue to closely monitor information from local and national healthcare officials as it pertains to the COVID-19 pandemic. While we're buoyed by the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine and the growing number of individuals being inoculated, it appears that July will still be too early to safely hold an in-person event of the magnitude of Comic-Con. For this reason, we've made the challenging decision to postpone Comic-Con 2021 as an in-person gathering until our 2022 dates, and once again hold this year's celebration as the free online Comic-Con at Home." For Comic-Con goers already with badges, those will automatically be rolled over to the 2022 dates unless you request a refund, which you can do on their website. In addition to going virtual, the convention will also be shorter due to budget constraints. Normally a 4-day event, Comic-Con at Home 2021 will take place from Friday, July 23rd through Sunday, July 25th. It's not all bad news, though. While the July convention is affected, Comic-Con International has announced that they are planning to put on a separate 3-day in-person convention in San Diego in November. They haven't worked out all the details on that one yet, but they promise to update their website as more information becomes available. Now I'll leave you with some parting words from the organizers. The past several months have taken a great toll on both families and friends, and we hope this effort is a small move toward a return to gathering as a community. We thank you all for your continued and unwavering support during these most challenging times. To read the full announcement, visit comic-con.org. Now, in just a moment, I'll be taking you back in time to find out what happened this week in Star Trek history. But first, a word from me. This show is supported by people like you through Patreon. Your support from as little as $1 a month helps us pay for our expenses like hosting and software, and it helps us grow the show so we can bring you even more Star Trek news wherever you are. Please consider supporting the show on Patreon. You can find out more at patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. That's patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. And a big thanks to you for supporting this show. And now, it's a look back into Star Trek history. It was today, March 3rd, back in 1920, that Star Trek actor James Doohan was born. Star Trek fans, of course, know him best as Montgomery Scott on the original series, usually called Scotty. Canadian-born Doohan was a veteran of World War II, where he fought in the D-Day invasion of Normandy. He famously lost a finger in that battle, apparently to friendly fire. Outside of Star Trek, Doohan was an accomplished television actor with credits across a range of projects and stretching back to 1950. Rarely lauded by awards committees, Doohan was nominated for a Saturn Award in 1987 for his role in Star Trek IV, The One with the Whales, and he earned himself a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2004. Sadly, Doohan passed away less than a year later, on July 20th, 2005. Please join me in remembering James Doohan on what would have been his 101st birthday. And tune in again next Wednesday for more Star Trek history. Well, that's it for today's Daily Star Trek News from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, with selected stories by Chris Peterson. We're supported by people like you through Patreon. Find out how you can add your support at patreon.com/Daily Star Trek News. And finally, please make sure you're signed up for the Daily Star Trek newsletter at dailystartreknews.com/contact. Get all the day's Star Trek news delivered straight to your inbox every weekday morning. I'm back tomorrow with more of the Star Trek news you need to know and the weekend's Star Trek events. I'm Alison Pitt. Live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.